So, Will, let's start off strong. What we're going to do here, folks, is we're going to go through some cliches. Now, that means you're going to be very aware of some of the phrases that we're going through. Please let us know in the comments below if these are cliches that you enjoy or use, or cliches that you hate and want to punch somebody in the head for.
Dirk, you know what I think I'm going to do when I hear these?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just going to reach over when I hear one of these cliches. I'm just going to put up a finger politely, stop the conversation, just reach over and just go boop on the nose.
Just a little tap on the little poppy on the nose.
Boop, just a little boop on the nose. I'm not going to explain it. I'm not going to justify it. I'm just going to let the conversation pick back up. And when somebody drops the next cliche, I'm just going to reach over and go boop again.
You're going to Betty boop the boop out of people.
It's going to be a boop a fest.
I want you to just keep saying boop. Every time you hear Will say boop, take a drink. Here we go. I hope you're listening to this in the morning on your drive time. All right, well, cliche number one, I'm probably calling you out on. I slept like a baby last night. Man, Will, I slept like a baby last night. How did I sleep last night if I slept like a baby?
Okay. If you slept like a baby last night, I'm just assuming that you shit yourself and peed yourself.
Yes.
Woke up several times.
Yep.
Infuriated whoever else is in the house.
Yes.
And probably drove some people to tears.
After I lost, I slept like a baby.
Yeah.
Sleep 2 hours, wake up and cry. Sleep 2 hours, wake up and cry.
First, let's start off by what it's supposed to mean. I think we all know slept like a baby means, man, you slept well. You got the sleep you needed, and you're ready for a good old day of hard work or fun. Whatever you're doing today is going to be great because last night, slept like a baby.
Slept like a baby.
Go time. Here's what it really means. I assume this was you during the night. Ah! And that can't be a good thing, Will. That's not something everybody wants. When you say slept like a baby, I assume you mean slept like a 14-year-old on a Saturday when his parents didn't wake him up, which means you slept and slept and slept and slept, and no one woke you up. You might even have a waterbed if it's the 90s.
Oh, man, waterbeds.
Yeah, you slept like a baby on a waterbed.
Everybody slept like a baby because it was like being in a uterus. It was amazing.
Huh. I got to tell you, didn't see that one coming. Okay, so we can do t-shirts. Guys, look for our merch. We'll have that below. Slept like I was sleeping in a uterus. We'll shorten it down to make it appropriate.
I'll take the next one. Hey, Dirk, with all due respect.
Go f*** yourself.
Let me... Oh, that's what I just said. Oh, okay.
You're having a conversation with someone, and they actually say, let's say it's someone you just met, and they've enjoyed the work that you've done. Maybe you've written some articles. Maybe you've given some speeches. I know you've done these things. And they say, I really enjoy what you put out there. But with all due respect, do you stop them immediately or do you wait?
My immediate and vocal responses. So with no respect at all, and your uneducated opinion is about to be proffered. Thank you.
Yeah, I think at this point, if you're saying with all due respect, you're probably dumb.
Yeah, it started off as a very, very passive-aggressive way to say, screw you, right?
Right.
The same way that our good Christian folk have adopted "have a blessed day" as a response instead of saying "f you." I mean, that's kind of the same thing. The problem is Will Ferrell made it ironic.
Well, with all due respect, Mr. Dennett, I had no idea you'd gotten experimental surgery to have your balls removed.
What did you say? What was that?
Well, I said with all due respect.
Here's the biggest problem I have with all due respect, and I just thought of it while you were speaking, is no one's ever followed up with all due respect with something positive. No one's ever actually said it like they meant it. With all due respect, I think you're one of the better speakers I've ever heard, and I just wanted to let you know. It's always with all due respect, I think you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, there's no positivity to it. It's not designed for it. It's not designed to be a positive sentiment in any way.
Let's see. What's my next one, Will? Here it is. I know you're going through a tough time, Will, but everything happens for a reason.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, no, it does. Everything happens for a reason. And it's sister-in-law. God doesn't give us anything we can't handle. That's the religious version.
Alex, I'll take horrible platitudes for the unoriginal for 1,000.
Yes. So I believe I've used this before, but others haven't heard it. I was just in a car accident. My wife, my best friend, my dog all died, and I've lost my leg. So my second best friend says,
"Hey, Dirk.
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry. Today's a rough day. but you got to take solace in the fact that everything happens for a reason.
Oh boy, it does?
Yeah. Hey, I know you're bereft of everything in the world, and the closest person you have is your tax accountant, me, your second best friend. And I just want you to know that God doesn't give you anything that you can't handle, my friend.
I could handle 2 legs.
Well, apparently you'll be able to handle one.
Does it help to know that Jesus loves you?
It does not.
Well, everything happens for a reason.
Are you really trying to tell me that things like New Orleans, AIDS, sugar-free ice cream, crack babies, Hugh Jackman, and cancer all happen for a reason? Because I'm sorry, I'm just not buying that.
So, Will, that would be everything happens for a reason. I hope you've enjoyed that part of today's podcast. Figuratively, I'd like to know what the next cliche would be, if only it were figuratively.
Hey, Dirk, you know what? The next cliche, it's literally
Reminds me of something that started happening in the early 2000s. No, I literally ate my dog for dinner. I was so hungry.
Yeah.
Well, we're not in South Korea.
Or North.
We're certainly not in North Korea. If we were, no one would know. No one would hear this. If I were in South Korea, I might eat a dog, but it's certainly not going to be my pet. So I wouldn't literally eat my own dog.
Like, go sell some plasma or something. If you literally ate your own dog, you should. There are programs. There are social safety nets. There are things to help you from having to literally eat your own dog. Oh, wait, you weren't literally eating your dog.
I literally hope that I never hear you say the word programs again, and you say it like you just did, which is programs.
Programs?
When you said programs, it made me think of a 92-year-old man asking his wife, who he now calls mother, if he could watch a TV show called Matlock.
There are programs.
Hey, mother, may I watch my programs? Only if you keep the volume down, sweetheart. Know what am I doing?
I literally want to punch you in the face right now.
Now see, that works because I believe you literally want to punch me in the face.
I figuratively want to reach through the screen and choke you to death, but I literally want to punch you in the face.
Literally the best friend that I will ever have.
You too, man.
I love it. And you know what? I literally think we're moving on. So literally, let's move on to one here that's personal to me. And it's really has to do with someone who's a kind of a douche canoe and is really looking for an excuse or a way out of a situation.
Oh,
I
I know
know
where this is going.
blood is thicker than water. Blood is not thicker than water in all aspects of life. Sometimes you get yourself a real anemic. What you got?
And that blood, I mean, that's just like, that's like less than water. It's like air. It's just like viscous. It's gone.
It's gone. You know what you've done there is you've got yourself a nice lubricant. Use yourself an anemic person's blood, and you've got yourself some WD-40. And I got to tell you, water's thicker.
Probably yes. In that scenario, water, yes, is probably thicker than your non-viscous, bloody lubricant.
It really is an excuse to say, well, that's my family. Well, that is. And this is my friend. I've chosen my friends. I've been stuck with my family. So to me, blood is not always thicker than water. Now, there's a couple family members I like, Will. And, I'm not going to make them WD-40. We're not a bunch of dumbs. We know that blood is thicker than water, even if its viscosity is higher than normal.
I think it's important to note that we've reached a point where we don't have to rely on family for chattel reasons. We don't have to rely on family for social reasons. We get to build our own. If we are lucky enough to live in the first world, if we are lucky enough to be able to have the resources to do it, you don't have to rely on your family for anything. If you are tied into your family in such a way that you have to rely on them for anything, it's not really family at that point, is it? It's more property rights. Dirk, I love this one. You know what? Money doesn't make you happy, Dirk. Hey, Dirk, no money, no amount of money in the world can make you happy. Only you can make you happy. Money does not create happiness, Dirk. It just doesn't, okay? Happiness is a warm gun. La, la, la. Happiness is a warm gun, baby.
Will, what were we talking about?
Money can't buy happiness.
I believe that you can if you get yourself the right belly dancer.
I'm not saying people with significant amounts of wealth don't have problems.
Right.
I'm saying there's a huge gulf between poor people problems and rich people problems, right? And poor people problems can be solved largely with money. And rich people problems can be solved largely with trying to make more money.
Say that phrase again because you f***ed it right up.
Okay, so poor people problems can be solved with money.
Right.
Happiness can be solved with money. Rich people problems can be solved by them stopping trying.
You're doing so well. Will, why don't you tell us one more time how you f***ed that up? Tell me more about how poor people and rich people can deal with money and happiness.
So poor people problems can be solved with money.
I've heard that before.
Which equates to happiness. Yeah, you've heard that, right?
Fucking mouth there.
Rich people problems can be solved by them not trying to make more money.
Right.
Money can buy plenty of poop and happiness.
You have a lot of money.
It's up, yeah.
And
I have a lot of happiness, but that doesn't mean that the two equate to each other.
has your happiness risen at the same amount as your bank account?
No. That's the thing. They don't
They don't equate, or they're not tied in any way.
They're not tied to each other.
Here's something that everybody already knows, and this has been said about this cliche, but I want to bring it up because I think it's important. Let's say you're poor, all right, and you got some problems. I challenge you to fix those problems without money.
Ooh.
So it may not be the money's buying you the happiness, but you're not going to get the happiness without the money.
Let me tell you, Dirk, when I was poor, I slept like a baby. Do you want to know why? Because it was cold.
You would shit yourself.
And I shit myself, and it was cold, and I cried a lot, and it was wholly unpleasant. You want to know why? Because I didn't have any money, and money could have solved every one of those problems.
What it is it's meant for rich people or people of means to make poor people feel better about the situation they're in. Get some money.
It's such a patronizing term.
That nobody says that who's poor.
Yeah, well, no, people say that to poor people. I'm so rich. It's so hard. It's so hard.
Money can't buy happiness, but God damn it, as they say, the other cliche being, you're not going to be, it's tough to be happy without it.
You know what happiness is, though, Dirk?
No.
Happiness is a warm gun.
I didn't know if you're done.
Okay, so you know what's next, Dirk? And I think this leads into it. You know what's better than being happy because of money? Happy because you're right.
Ooh.
And you know what? You know who's always right? Me, the customer.
Ah, I see.
Do you get that? Do you understand that? Do you understand? I need to speak to your manager, Dirk, because you don't understand that the customer is always right.
No matter what?
I killed a man in the parking lot. I bought a latte. I'm right.
Rick, have you ever heard the expression, the customer is always right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here I am, the customer.
That's not our policy. I'm really sorry.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm really sorry, too.
That's the worst example ever. What you've done is you've given me the worst example ever. And keep going, though. I want to hear more about the latte and the dead fella.
That's all there is to it. I hit a man in the parking lot. I bought a latte.
Right.
I bought the latte. This is important. I bought the latte before I hit the man in the parking lot.
Right.
That's what made me right. I couldn't make it retroactive. I couldn't hit the guy and then go, because it's not future customers are always right. It's just customers are always right. It's so frustrating because you don't get to walk into a store. You don't get to behave however you want. You don't. And as somebody who's been in sales, as somebody who's been in marketing, as somebody who's designed customer experiences, you have to account for the fact that you're trying to satisfy a customer, but also that you're not going to be able to satisfy everyone. And the last phrase you ever utter is, well, they're going to be right no matter what.
This cliche was specific very much to retail when it started. Now it's everything. Now it's people just believe they're right whenever. Now, you, sales, you dealt with the public. You know what it's all about. The customer's always right. I have run musical venues. I did that for almost 20 years. And I got to tell you, customer generally pretty fucking wrong.
Always.
Now, not always wrong. This brings me back
Usually.
to a time when I believe you know this story. There was a gentleman who wanted a Heineken, but I bring it up only for this reason. He came up to me and he had his girlfriend with him, and they were having a good time. My bartender called me on my radio, and on my radio I said, "Hey, it's Dirk." And he said, "Hey, Dirk, can you come over to bar number 3? We got a situation." I said, "Sure, we can." And I ran right over there. And not only did I go third person, but I made me pluralized. So I went over to the bar. And I asked the bartender.
We went over to the bar.
We ran right over to that bar. And I said, "What seems to be the problem?" And we had 2 customers there, a fine young man and his lovely young girlfriend. They weren't yet married, but I could tell this was certainly on its way to be there. And by that, I mean pretty close to a first date.
Would you say it was a love for the ages?
It certainly was. It was very Romeo and Juliet. It was the Montagues and the other ones. So the others. So what I did is I went over there and I said, "What seems to be the problem, John?" And John said to me, "This gentleman would like a Heineken." Now, we didn't have Heineken. We didn't carry Heineken. And I said to the gentleman, I said, "You know what? We don't carry Heineken. I sure am sorry, but I'll buy you whatever drink you'd like, you and your young lady, friend." And he said to me, "Why don't you have Heineken?" To which I replied very quickly, "Well, it tastes like shit."
Not wrong.
Right. And the customer was not correct. I was correct. Heineken tastes like shit. So we don't carry it because that would be a loss. And we like to do profits and losses in the profit area.
That's where I generally like them too. So all of these next few we're going through, I mean, could be lumped into one horrible bucket of what I call bumper sticker arguments. Bumper sticker arguments are statements that cannot be retorted in any way. Somebody puts a bumper sticker on their car that says, Trump is a loser. That guy just gets to walk around and say it, whatever he wants, and feel this is swell of pride without any actual retort to it. So fact of the matter is, Dirk, that these statements are just the most dumb ways to find your way out of an argument or out of a conversation or out of anything that's even remotely contentious by putting your foot down, stomping, and acting like you're getting ready to sleep like a baby.
You know, I've had it with you guys and your cancer and your emphysema and your heart disease. The bottom line is smoking is cool, and you know it.
If you're going to say to me, the fact of the matter is, at the end of the day, and the bottom line is, I almost don't take you seriously as a human being anymore because I know you can't have a conversation. I know you don't want to. I know you feel like you've lost this particular back and forth that we're having. And it may not even be an argument. It's something people say in business now. They're just so used to saying it that I will say things like, "Oh, it's weird because I looked at the bottom line and that wasn't it. Here's the real, let's keep going with the conversation." And people get like, "Oh," and like they get offended that you took their bullshit cliche. I don't know. What am I doing? They took your bullshit, their bullshit ending to the conversation, and you said, "Nope. As a matter of fact, it's not the end. I'm going to tell you when the end is, and then I'll Choryuken it," since I was already going Street Fighter. And if I could flip my feet around, I'd Choryuken. So that's how I put a bow on that for me, Will.
Wow. For me, and this is a douche move, right? If I drop an "at the end of the day," to me, the answer is obvious. Everybody else is just fluffernuting, and I'm done. So I'm like, at the end of the day, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're done. And that is probably an immature, probably terrible way to approach it. But it's exactly how I approach it.
What I really hate is when you're just having a normal conversation and somebody says, like, again, it's usually about politics or it's about religion or something. And people say, well, bottom line. But don't come at me so bottom line. Like, you're not in charge of me. You don't get to tell me what my bottom line is.
And that, I think, brings us to the top of the hour. So there we go.
Hey, guys, thanks for listening so much. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to listen to Will's throaty cough over my like and subscribe request.
8675309. And if I don't know you, that means I even like you even more.
I believe you just said lick you even more, and that sounded weird. We'll just, we'll just go. When we stop, we stop. We got 14. We'll do what we want. It's our fucking thing.
Echo cancellation. You make me cream. Oh, God, that was recording.
Oh, it was recording, but I got to tell you, it also got my REM version. Echo cancellation, you're now what? Echo cancellation will cream this pants. So we've got that going for us. I'm pretty excited about that. I literally think that blood is thick. Oh, fuck no. That money can buy happiness. Yeah, or it would have been back in the day, with all due respect. We are in a whorehouse and you're a whore. So here we go.